and welcome everybody to the Fat Guys on a Little Podcast. I'm your co-host, Steve Markey, and always joined by
Charles here.
This is September 29th episode. Had to think about it.
You are the best at these intros.
the greatest, isn't it?
It's like you halfway wake up. Oh,
yeah,
my God.
All right, wait, now we're
End
good.
of September. I don't know.
We don't have a taste test today. I was trying to get us some Screwball peanut butter whiskey, maybe one of these weeks. And Dan
Is Screwball the brand?
Yeah, it's actually the lady. I went to that liquor store right next to 7-Eleven on Monroe. And she didn't have it. I was cool. I was going to walk out. Oh, let me look it up for you. That was 20 minutes of my life. I won't get back. I mean, she really looked into it and looked it up online.
Can she
searched.
get it? Like,
no, it's out of state. So maybe that'd be our Illinois connection. We'll have to set up. And
he does have the mother of all places by him.
So there was one thing we had planned. We were going to try this week, but it isn't working out. So. First off, good news on the state of Michigan. I don't know no one's getting laid off. They've kind of passed the budget. So my wife, who works for the state of Michigan, will not be laid off, so that's good. You know, the governor was threatening to do that.
Yeah, I know all of it. You sent me the email.
Yeah, that same email, another letter came officially saying.
How close to 0 hour did they finally make the deal?
Not 30. The 30th would have been. That's tomorrow.
Okay, so it was like
Friday
last week. Yeah.
So they stretched it till Friday.
Wow.
So it was a while.
Did she get her money for? Because the big push was something with the roads, right?
No, I don't think she did. They got some money, but it wasn't the way she wanted it.
Oh, okay.
So, but I
know that there's got to be some money because, man, everything this late in the year, everything is under construction.
Yeah,
it is unbelievable.
94 has been a mess all summer.
Dude, it has been
and
rough.
now into the fall. So
at this point, plus Michigan Avenue, I mean, everything should be like driving on glass come winter, but you know it won't be.
So then we were looking. There's a late Comic Con in Chicago, Ace Comic Con, and it's got Holly's boy Tom Holland in it.
Yeah, that was the one you talked about.
Yeah, but it's just not logistically working out. Holly's got a basketball or volleyball tournament that Saturday. She can't take the day off school because she's got honors classes on Friday.
Yeah.
So, and then we had to board the dogs.
There's too much going on.
It's
with
just too
life.
much.
Yeah.
So I was like, a little depressed, but no Comic-Con venture. Maybe next year.
Yeah.
We might hit Disneyland next year. I don't know.
Disneyland, California Disneyland?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's where those two want to go. So maybe I'll see this.
I've always heard that the Disneyland is better than a Disney World. Because people are a little more over it over there, so I heard you can get into the rides a little better and stuff like that.
It's a little less.
Because that last experience I had, I'm not going to Disney World anytime soon.
And there's not a whole lot of, like in Disney World, you got all the different parks there, right?
It's pretty much just World and Universal that's there.
Yeah,
right?
in California,
Land and I'm sorry,
Disneyland. So they try to pack everything into Disneyland.
Yeah. You don't have like the true compound of like the 6 parks.
Yeah. So
it's just
not
that
crazy.
last trip was so bad.
But it's going to be bad because Star Wars opened, so it's going to be insane.
Yeah.
So
I want to see it. I do. I totally want to see it. But after that Harry Potter situation with Heather, I'll never go back. I'm not. I don't care enough. I just don't.
Yeah, I might have to take some fat guy videos for us and look at it. So, but there you go. That's neither here nor there. That's gone. And we're going to promote it during wrestling, but also right now, next week, we're going to do
the big wrestling breakdown
the
podcast.
Wrestling Roundup Breakdown Podcast, whatever you want to call it. AEW debuts next week. Same thing with SmackDown.
SmackDown on Fox.
On Fox.
Yeah. And make sure you promote it.
And they're saying
so
it's a 25th anniversary or something. We all have Dave back. I can't remember his last name. What's Dave's
Havenstein.
last name?
Yeah.
Dave Havenstein, Bill Lockhart, myself, Charles, and maybe one other. We're working on another guest, but we're gonna we're all wrestling all day next week. So if you're not a wrestling fan, just zone out.
The weird part was this was my idea, so I don't know what we're up to.
So we're gonna see how wrestling shoots off here in the fall. Now that they're all going to major networks and not just USA.
And so we know. So Fox has SmackDown on Friday.
Yep.
And AEW premieres Wednesday on TNT.
Yes.
Opposite of the NXT product, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So I'll have to make sure I DVR that.
What is the name of the AEW show?
That I don't know. They haven't really announced it. Just the AEW, the commercials like, we're the next generation, and
so they're playing it up, but they don't have like a name. Like
no, it says
like
AEW
Nitro.
coming Wednesday nights on TNT. It didn't.
Oh.
I didn't catch it. Maybe someone has. I didn't catch it, but maybe I should have. Bad wrestling fan I am. Look it up. I don't even know who that. I know Tony Schiavone might be one of the announcers. The old WCW guy from back in the day. I'm not sure. I don't think Jim Ross is going to be a regular.
Dynamite is what they're calling it.
That is terrible.
How is it any worse than Nitro?
Well, Nitro was terrible too. They're out of business. That's almost as bad as the Peacock streaming.
I think
service.
they should have just called it Raw.
They're just done. Yeah, Raw and done. I don't know. Anyways, bad joke. All right, so there you go. Little look into wrestling coming up next week.
Yeah.
Big all wrestling all the time. I don't know. That's may bored half of the 10 listeners, but we'll find out. So this week I checked out some movies. Charles checked out some TV and Netflix like usual. Charles, do you ever notice about once every couple years or once a year, there's always some form of spy movie that comes out? And lately, it's been female spies.
They can be entertaining. I mean, if done well, like
They're,
a good, like the Daniel Craig Bond movies are awesome.
Well, that's the supreme one, right? The Bonds, the current
but
ones. You watch some of those old ones that are a little rough.
Decent
the Bourne movies. I'll go with the Bourne movies, except I hate the amnesia tropes. But okay.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of spy stuff, and lately there's been a lot of female spy ones. Atomic Blonde, that wasn't very good.
Charlize Theron was
yes, that was Red Sparrow. That was Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah.
That was there was Salt with Angelina Jolie.
Yeah.
And in the long line of female spy ones comes the movie Anna. That's where I was going with this.
Yeah.
This is a Russian supermodel / spy.
Okay.
And
who's in it?
Anna. No. Helen Mirren, Luke Evans.
Who plays the lead?
I don't know her name. She's a tall, thin, blonde-haired girl. She plays a Russian. She's a Russian supermodel, but not really. So, yeah, it's.
Luc Besson's attached to it. Luc Besson did The Professional. He owned The Professional and stuff like that.
Yeah, that was good. This wasn't. It was okay at best. I didn't care for Atomic Blonde either. I didn't care for this. The problem was the trailer. If you remember the trailer,
Sasha Luss apparently.
Yeah, she can barely act. She's more of a supermodel than an actress. The trailer showed a big scene in a restaurant where she's beating up a bunch of guys and she's trying to get something. I remember the trailer for that. Now, that scene is good, but that's 5 minutes of a 2-hour movie. So it's like, ugh. So it drags. She has sex with just about everybody. Is
there nudity in it?
She's topless a couple times. And Luke Evans plays the main Russian spy, like, boss or whatever. And then there's the guy. Who's the guy off of Batman Begins that played the Scarecrow?
Cillian Murphy?
Yes, he plays the CIA agent who's trying to get
Blinders,
her to flip.
One of the best shows.
Oh, yeah, he's on that too. So he's trying to get her to flip. So she's playing both of them and sleeping with both of them. And then she has a female roommate when she's a supermodel. She's sleeping with that one too. So she's sleeping all over the place. It sounds more exciting than what I'm thinking it sounds.
I want to say, did Luc Besson do like the fifth? Like I can name a bunch of Luc Besson movies. They're pretty good.
That's great. Go watch those. Don't watch this one. It takes place mostly in Paris and Moscow are the two places it takes place. I mean, it does its own thing. Rape
he was his Fifth Element.
Yeah. So I didn't care for it. It wasn't that great. It was rather boring.
He did Valerian, that terrible.
Yeah, he did some other stuff too. And Lucy was okay, I guess. Lucy's another. She wasn't really a spy, but So it's okay.
How long is it? 2 hours.
It's 2 solid hours.
Yeah.
And it just probably should have been about an hour and a half.
Is it like cool set pieces or anything? Is she like cool European countries and stuff like that?
No, it's Paris and Moscow over and over again, and kind of the same area.
She's not in like the Czech Republic.
No, it's not like a globe-trotting spy movie. No, it's not. There's 2 locations, and that's it. Even when they go to New York to show the CIA, it looks like he's straight up standing in front of a green screen.
Wow.
So it's a lower budget. It's.
You just didn't dig it.
I didn't dig it at all. If you want a female spy
what drew
movie,
you to it? I guess would be my question.
It was new.
Okay.
So, and Michelle does love spy movies, spy stuff. She grew up on James Bond. She loves it too. Sure. So it's like, okay, we'll get the spy movie. And should have avoided it. Give it about a 3 out of 10.
Wow, 3 is rough. Like you're slogging through that.
Oh yeah, it was not good for me. I didn't care. Now the next one. Surprisingly, so maybe this benefited because I watched it the day after Anna, so maybe it did benefit.
It got a little like graded on a curve.
Yeah, now I'm not a giant Shaft fan. All right, that sounds
I heard
really weird.
You've talked about it all. You're like Godzilla and Shaft is all you talk about all the time.
Godzilla's Shaft is what I want to talk about. This is obviously it's
Richard Roundtree, Sam Jackson. It's three generations. Who plays the current?
I don't know who his son plays. It's a new young actor. I don't know his name.
Okay.
This is way more of a comedy than it is.
So it doesn't take itself serious at all.
No.
Okay.
So
I think that's probably the way to play a Shaft movie in 2019 too.
Yeah, because the one that came out with Christian Bale and Samuel Jackson was a little serious, if I remember correctly.
I don't
That
know.
was about
I never
2001, 2002, maybe 2010, somewhere in there.
So he was still trying to be a bad mamma jamma.
Yeah. It was kind of serious. More, it had a little humor, but it was more serious. This one puts the action a little bit behind and the comedy straightforward.
So they're like wink, wink, nodding at the camera kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, his son. Okay, so the story goes, him and his woman have a falling out, and she leaves him and raises his son without him. Pretty much is what happens. There's a reason for it. He's not a full deadbeat dad. They explained it in the movie. I don't want to ruin it for anybody. But his son ends up becoming kind of feminine, hipster, millennial kind of kid. So, and of course, Shaft is
he's wearing like skinny jeans and stuff like that.
Exactly. That's one of the jokes in the movie.
Okay.
So basically, once he meets up with his dad, after about 30 minutes, that's the only bummer of the movie. Like the first 30, 40 minutes isn't Shaft. It's all about his son. And then eventually when Shaft comes. So basically, from there on out, it's just him ripping his son for about an hour and 20 minutes.
Sam Jackson to the guy, right?
Yeah. Rips him all the time.
Is Richard Roundtree the grandfather?
Yes, he's the grandfather.
Okay.
So, and they go, near the end, they get Richard Roundtree, and the three of them go solve the case. But a lot of fun. It was fun, action, shooting, and stuff like that, but more comedy. And it was basically Samuel Jackson ripping on millennials and hipsters for about an hour and a half. So if you want to get a laugh out of that.
Sam Jackson can be good if given the right vehicle, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Like, Sam Jackson's really good, but I didn't see, like I said, the M. Night Shyamalan movies you talked about, like, and all that kind of stuff. But, like, he tries to be a little more serious at times, but he can be really funny if you give him the right material.
Yeah, and this was funny. It was just him. He's a womanizer. He's just trying to sleep with chicks, rip on his son, hang out.
And then the son's trying to be like this, like, super, like, he feels for feminism. And
Well, he's got a crush on the one girl.
I get it,
And he's like, instead of asking her out, like, she's with her from me to you, like, I'll text you tonight. And Samuel Jackson, just ask her to dinner. She's right there. Like, ripping on her.
Old school.
Yeah. So he's old school mixed, ripping on
that's not
millennials. So if bored one day catching on cable, that's probably about a 5 out of 10. It's not the greatest movie in the world, but it's way better than Anna.
Yeah. Wow.
So where did you see Inside Bill's Brain?
Yeah, so Inside Bill's Brain, it's called Decoding Bill Gates. It just premiered on Netflix this past week. And basically it's a 3-part documentary that they do like a biography of Bill Gates, but at the same time, they talk about like his foundation and what he's working on currently. I got to be honest, I have issues with it because it felt very manicured by Bill Gates' camp. So the 3 parts are basically talking how he kind of grew up and who he's friendly with, and then his project of getting toilets to like third world countries so that they have sewage problems, like people are dying of diarrhea in Africa. And then part 2 is
Wait, you can die of diarrhea?
It is pretty crazy. It's like a global epidemic if people just don't have clean water. So yeah, I get it, but like so in one breath, they're talking to you about the biography of what made Bill Gates and the antitrust stuff and how the government came after him, a true biography. And in the same breath, they're trying to show you what he's doing to be a good human being now. It feels branded, if that makes sense. There's no other way to describe it other than like, again, like I said, like Bill Gates' camp is like, listen, we need to paint Bill in a light of like, he's a great human being.
Well, that's kind of the knock that was on that Queen documentary, is that the group kind of made it, they sugarcoated a lot of stuff.
Yeah, like so instead of just telling the story, but I can't describe it other than, like I said, it felt like his team did it. Does that make sense? Like, it felt like he handpicked a documentarian to like follow him. And he handpicked the footage that they were going to show. And then they handpicked how he was going to be portrayed in his future and his legacy on this planet. It was a really awkward documentary. I got to admit, Bill Gates is a fascinating dude. He's like best friends with Warren Buffett. And like, how does that come to be? He reads a ton of books. Like, he can oddly like digest books, and they show him reading and digesting books like super fast, and like how his mind works, and like kind of how he grew up. So like, there's things that I'm interested in it. I just felt like they kind of bounce back and forth between current projects and his biography, and I do think that Bill and Melinda Gates do amazing things in this world with their money and their philanthropy, like you talked about. It just felt a little too like force fed to you. Like, no, we're good people, Steve. We're good people. I'm worth billions of dollars and like kind of viciously overtook company, but no, we're good people. We're good people. It was a little bit and in a rarity. This was a Netflix misstep for me. I just thought that to me the part should have been a biography, like past, present, and future, like how he, you know what I mean? Like,
so you want something like more like a Morgan Spurlock or a Michael Moore kind of a documentary?
I felt like the minute it kind of got darker in his biography side, they cut to the good things that he's doing.
And how long was this?
It was a 3-part. It was probably every part's probably 45 minutes, the last part being an hour. And again, he's doing amazing things. I'm not here to sit here and tell you that, like, because again, the first part they documented in the future stuff and the Bill Gates Foundation stuff, he's trying to solve like sewage. And in the second one, he's trying to solve, there's still polio in this world. I didn't know. In Africa and all these countries. And then in the third part, he's trying to solve like how our energy, clean energy and all this kind of stuff. And there are fascinating things in these arenas.
Shouldn't polio just be easy to solve? Just bring the medicine over?
But there's like weird governments that influence this and stuff. And they do a good job of touching on it. But like I said, I felt a little too spoon-fed. I felt like... like I said, like Bill Gates is kind of an asshole. You know what I mean? Like, let's be honest. You don't get to where he's at if you're not a little ruthless. And it's okay to be like that. Like, no one sits here and tells me Jeff Bezos is a good dude.
Right.
This was like, imagine he's an asshole, but hold on, we're doing good things. We're making self-driving cars. It was really kind of weird. And that's why I would give it like a 5 or a 6, like on your 10-point scale you often hit them with, just because, like I said, it felt very branded and kind of like, hand-picked and dictated by the Bill Gates and Bill Gates Foundation.
So inside Bill's brain, decoding Bill Gates, a 5 out of 10 or 6. Depending how big a fan you are of Microsoft.
Yeah, and like I said, it's one of those. You and me talk about all the time. I love a documentary.
Yeah,
Well,
the problem with me, I've seen a lot of stuff on him already. So really, the only thing interesting would be the charity work and stuff he does, because I haven't seen that. Like TNT had that miniseries, Pirates of Silicon Valley. They had.
But did he sanction all that stuff?
No.
That's what I'm trying to say.
And it made him and Steve Jobs look a little bit more like assholes, like they probably were.
Yeah, and that's okay. I don't know why that's not okay to be in a capitalist country. We're not socialist at the end of the day. Like, but I guess it's him manicuring his legacy is kind of what I took it as.
So and now the next movie. I'm going to tell the score right ahead. It's 3 out of 10.
Oh, man.
It gets 1 point because Mark Hamill's the voice.
Mark Hamill, yeah.
It gets 2 points. The second point because it's got...
April?
Yes, April from Parks and Rec. And the third point is there are a couple gruesome deaths.
Okay.
Other than that, this is a terrible movie.
Oh, wow.
I don't know how you felt about the old 80s version of Child's Play.
Before they got really campy in the later ones, the first few were kind of like terrifying at points.
So what I remember of the original in the 80s is a serial killer's soul gets trapped in a My Little Buddy doll type deal. Yeah. And then the thing comes to life and starts killing people. Okay, so...
Not a terrible horror movie premise.
Right. They adapted that a little better for...
He's like a Bluetooth thing now,
So
right?
imagine Amazon or Google had, you got all your house gadgets.
I got 1,000 Alexas, yeah.
So instead of the next Alexa, they put out a doll who then you could tell the doll what to do, and it can be a toy for your kid, and it can still control your house.
So it's got a hub built into it, or it physically goes and turns the light off?
Yeah, it can turn your TV off, turn your heater
he's got
up.
Like the hub.
He's essentially controlled. Yeah. So how this one, and I'm going to spoil this, so if anyone don't want to listen, please hang up, because no one should watch this.
Wow.
Poor Mark Hamill, I can't believe it.
He's got bills to pay.
Yeah, but apparently.
He just died in the new Star Wars he's got.
yeah. So what happens is they're putting the dolls together in a factory in Vietnam.
Okay.
And they got to program each doll, put the microchip in it, and da-da-da. So the one Vietnamese worker's working, and his boss comes over and literally slaps the guy in the face. Tells him he needs to work faster, you suck.
Hurry up.
He becomes a pissed off worker, and takes off all the safety protocols on the chip.
Oh, okay.
Puts it in the doll. The doll gets shipped. And
I'll
the guy,
show you.
And the guy committed suicide, jumped off the building. They had to throw that little extra part in there.
Well, that's true.
So there's one Chucky doll out there with no safety protocols in it. So it can cuss, it can be violent, it can do whatever it wants.
Kind of cool.
And that's the one that April and her son get. There's basically a lot of kid actors in this, and they're all terrible. They're really bad actors, really. Some of them really stick out. And at first, the doll is just trying to do things to make the boy happy. Like, it's really obsessed with they got a cat, and the cat's kind of pissy and scratches everybody. And the kid kind of says, "Oh, God, why do we have this stupid cat?" So, like, a day or two later, Chucky strangles and stabs the cat to death.
Well.
So, and then he's like, "Why'd you do that, Chucky?" He said, and then there's a guy dating his mom. He doesn't really like that guy. So, guess what happens?
He's basically doing this kid's bidding, is what you're saying?
But the kid's not asking him to do it, but, you know.
He's
so
inferring and then going to do it.
Yeah, and then he kills everyone at first he kills is kind of like dicks and bad.
So you could see it initially. Like,
yeah, so like the guy sleeping with April actually is married across town. Okay. Chucky jumps in the back of his car or truck. Yeah. And then it's the most elaborate slow death scene. That's one thing that's really rough. The two really gruesome death scenes.
Does it animate? So Chucky animates?
Yeah.
Do they explain how he animates?
They do the regular ones, even without the.
Oh, okay.
They're like little robots that walk around and they have the creepy face and everything. Right. And it's funny, the kid wanted to name it Han Solo, but it hits a glitch and goes, "Chucky? I like the name Chucky." And just named itself Chucky. That's how it comes up with the name. But the two gruesome deaths, though. Like, the guy's laying on the ground. He's got Christmas lights wrapped around him. He broke both his legs because he fell off the top of the thing. And they turn on a power tiller, for dirt. Okay. And it's slowly coming at him. All the guy had to do was roll left or right.
He couldn't. He had no legs.
He didn't understand it. Just roll. And he does it, of course. His head gets chopped up and everything. Okay. It was pretty. They showed it, too. So that was That was pretty gruesome. And then there's this janitor guy who gets killed. He's another one. He's standing up. He's holding his pipe. He's standing above a table saw that's on. You could have just fell to the left or right, but no, he falls.
English is loud.
Yeah, he falls straight down.
That doesn't make a good movie, Steve.
I know, but at the same time.
So you're applying logic to a Chucky movie. I love it. Steve's like, "You're insulting my intelligence."
Yeah, and then
I come to Chucky for the realism.
Yeah, well, not even have to be real. Just die a little, something more believable. Okay. Even Michelle was like, "Really? You could have just jumped to the side." I mean, it's so blatantly obvious. It's ridiculous. No,
because then he couldn't fall on the table.
He could have fell to the right, and then Chucky could have came out and stabbed him in the head or something. Yeah. That's what he could have done. But it was real gruesome when they did die. And then they sends drones. Now, most drones, the blades on them, are they metal? I don't think so.
They're not metal, but they can really hurt you. That Enrique Iglesias thing, you ever see that where they're flying a drone and recording one of his concerts, and the idiot reached his hand up and caught a blade? Oh. So you can really get hurt by it because the RPMs are so crazy.
That was part of the movie too. He sent a bunch of drones at his one guy.
I don't know if it can cut your throat. I don't know. About
it was a drone that was sold at like a Best Buy on a shelf. I don't think they have
it's $120 drone.
Yeah, I don't. But okay, so. If you like Child's Play, the original, this is kind of a remake of it. With a little bit of a modern twist. It's just terrible.
You're running into the same issue I do with a lot of horror movies. I can't turn my brain off enough to enjoy
I need to,
it.
Because it was terrible.
I almost am a little jealous of people that can. Because like I said, there's people that are like, oh, just, I can turn my brain off in a Rambo movie, but in a horror movie, I just get irritated. I'm just like you said, fall to the side.
I turn my brain off on a superhero movie.
Yeah.
Radioactivity wouldn't give you superpowers. It would kill you with cancer. But, you act like a spider.
But if you fall into a table saw, Steve is out.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe because I'm not a huge fan of horror movies to begin with.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of which, Bert's already watching American Horror Story. It's like an 80s slasher movie.
Heather likes it a lot this season.
We'll have to have him come in sometime this month and talk some horror movie.
Hey, there's always room next week. He can give us his wrestling input as well.
Yeah, he doesn't want that. He hasn't even seen Child's Play. I one-upped him on this one, so I wish I didn't see it. To be honest with you. So, Michelle recorded it. I didn't watch it. I get enough of Walter Goggins or Goggins.
Walton Goggins,
I screw his name up every week.
Love it.
I love him on the Gemstones. I don't need
Billy Freeman.
I just can't see this terrible. The Unicorn on CBS. Charles, tell us what it's about.
So all of our TV shows have premiered, and we talked about we did a roundup a couple weeks ago with me and BV. And again, I got a bit of a man crush on Walton Goggins. I enjoy him. the reason why I love Walton Goggins is he does those quirky characters in those Danny McBride shows. He did the quirky character on Sons of Anarchy. He plays quirky and weird so funny to me and so good. That's the problem. So this show is him straight up. It's like a bad sitcom, not even a sitcom because it's not. It's like more like Modern Family filmed. It's not a sitcom traditional. And he basically is a widowed husband who waited a year, and he's raising his 2 daughters now who are like preteen and then like a teen, just beginning to be a teenager kind of thing. And his friends are encouraging him to get back out there because, you know, you're an amazing person. You didn't get a divorce. You don't, you know what I mean? You didn't cheat and all this kind of stuff. So they go on it's just, and I described it kind of pre-show. It's just clunky. There's no other word to describe it other than, and again, I love me some Walton Goggins. Follow the dude on Instagram. He's the right amount of quirky just for me, I think. He's just a funny dude, and like I'm into his whole, like, you know, just his awkwardness and everything. Just a cool dude. This is just weird. I'm going to give it a couple more episodes, but it did not come off well.
Are they trying for heartfelt and emotional?
They
too?
Definitely are. Oh. So like he's trying to raise these 2 daughters the best way he can, and he's trying to deal with the death of his wife, but he's back at work and he's bootstrapped up and he's ready to go.
Where does he
work?
You
know, getting back out there, he's a landscaper. And to get back out
there,
owns
a landscaping business, or
they didn't allude to that yet, but they show him kind of working. But he, you know, they went through the freezer and he was, instead of cooking, he was cooking all the meals that people made for him when his wife passed. And it's clunky, people. There's no other word I can say other than clunky.
You're gonna stick with it?
Just for my love of Walton Goggins, I'm gonna give it at least 2 more episodes, see if it kind of picks up the funny. I like his subtle humor to things, and I like his kind of, like I said, quirkiness. This just don't do it for me, man. I can't.
Well, he's not really quirkiness, right?
He's a straight up widow dude, and like I said, like I'm giving him a huge, because if anyone else were playing this lead, I would be out. I swear to you. Like, I would just be, if this were Jimmy Smits, I'd be gone. I'm just telling you right
Will
now.
Sasso, I'm not watching.
Yeah, dude, because I got an affinity towards Walton Goggins. I'm like, I'm gonna ride this out a little further. But man, is it clunky. It is just, and he's a widow, but not only is he a widower or whatever, but like he doesn't want to use that as a crutch in dating either. So he like unchecks the widow and just goes as single because, you know, he's got some integrity. It's like, I don't know, man. It's just oof. It is oof, man. So that was my one new show that I watched. Obviously, we had a bunch of premieres and stuff.
Did you watch Mixed-ish?
No, I did not. I will not watch that show. I don't like the Blackish spinoffs, and I'm not into it. I don't like Young Sheldon, as we talked about, too.
Yeah.
And CBS is hard behind Young Sheldon, man, because
they promote the hell out of it.
They are trying to get everyone from Big Bang over to Young Sheldon. And I got news for you, CBS. Big Bang was phenomenal. That Young Sheldon is terrible.
Yeah, it's not.
That kid can't act. You called it from jump. Like when we first watched the spinoff, we're like, this is terrible.
Yeah, it was gross.
So
it's gotten no better after a year.
I don't even watch it.
That's one thing. Sometimes a comedy show starts off slow. Like the first season of Seinfeld wasn't all that great. By the second and third, it got better and better and better. Some shows do that. I just don't see the Unicorn doing that.
I don't see Young
I'll
Sheldon
be honest
with you
that.
right now. I don't see a second season of the Unicorn.
Oh, yeah.
It's that
now,
clunky.
I didn't watch it, but Michelle did watch Bob Hart's Abishola.
Abishola? What was her thoughts?
She said terrible. And she's very lenient on stuff.
Yeah.
She'll watch just about anything. And she was like, oh, my God, this is bad.
Because, again, that's a guy that in the lead deserves an opportunity. I think.
But that's not it.
He's using all that good.
How do they not make him like a Bears super fan show or something?
Yeah,
like
we
where
talked
he's
about
a
it,
diehard super fan or something, because I know he loves football. And the other one I did watch, did you get a chance to watch it, the season premiere of Superstore?
I watched the season premiere of that as well.
I am glad they didn't dwell too much on
it
the
wasn't
immigration.
too bad. I thought it was. I think it's still. It is the closest. If you like The Office, you have to watch Superstore.
Yeah, the robot was funny.
And the fact that they tried to kill it and got back on.
Yeah. The only thing kind of sucked, they had like generic Terminator music. If they could have got the rights for the real Terminator music when it popped
the fact
up.
that the robot's name was Glenn, too. Don't kill Glenn.
Yeah. He's on the
funny.
ladder. It's pushing him.
Yeah, it's still, that show is very funny.
Just get Mateo out of the center already. Let's get away from
I
the
wonder if
stuff.
Mateo's got another movie, because he was in Crazy Rich Asians, and I wonder if they're trying to use that to give him time and at the same time push an agenda. But that show still is funny. I don't know.
Yeah,
I enjoy it.
Hope it sticks up, but we'll find out, I guess.
And to your point,
there is your AEW.
Oh,
AEW,
and it's on CBS because TNT is a CBS network loosely because they play the NC2A tournament.
It does say Dynamite at the very end. It didn't say. It just said AEW TNT.
Yeah, wow, big commercial. So that tells you CBS is getting behind it. We got Wrestling Wars starting for sure.
It's going to be interesting. Yeah. So that was the other TV I caught. I did catch Superstore back, but that's about all I caught. I was watching bad movies all week. Now to the retro review.
Speaking of bad movies, is what you should start.
I'm not gonna say it's terrible. I'm gonna say it's barely a movie.
Tell me what it's about.
I agree with your note there. It was just a day in the life.
Hold on. What movie are you watching here? Hold on. We're going into our rants before. So this is 1973.
American Graffiti.
American Graffiti. George Lucas directed and wrote with another group here. I didn't know Francis Ford Coppola produced this movie.
Yeah. It
is when it began, it literally is Happy Days.
Yeah.
I was shocked by. I'm like, holy! Is this an episode of Happy Days? Like,
I agree with you in your note there. It's like Flashdance. There's no real plot, no villain, no drama. It's just here's a day in 1950 with these kids, and that's it,
dude. And then like,
that was
what the hell? Like Richard Dreyfuss went and had a Ferris Bueller day. I'm like, what is this? Like, he's messing with the cops at one point. He's chasing a blonde at the other. Oh my god! And how young was everyone in that?
Now, allegedly, the blonde. I did not know this.
In the Thunderbird.
Yeah, Randy told me this. I didn't. I never.
Wait, did Randy love American?
He loves this movie.
Oh, he's so wrong.
Him and his friends.
Oh, he's so wrong. And how bad was the effect when they gave you the follow-up at the end?
Oh, I wasn't even expecting that. Did I really?
And he died. But anyway, to your point, the blonde.
It's Suzanne Summers.
Is she really?
Yeah.
I couldn't even.
That's what Randy told me. I was like, oh.
There's like child molestation going on in this movie, too. Like he's driving around like a 12-year-old the whole day.
Well, I think she's about 14, if I had to guess. But he didn't do it. I was surprised. I thought for sure he was going to sleep with that girl.
Dude, oh my God.
Did you not?
I was getting uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And then I didn't realize how bad of an actor Harrison Ford started out as.
Oh, he was bad in this movie.
He did not come off well, people.
And Cindy Williams, that is Shirley off of Laverne and Shirley. I couldn't place it at first. And then Ron Howard, that potty mouth, telling a person to go kiss a duck.
Oh,
that was the worst.
He told him, I'm out of your school, man.
Go kiss a duck. That's the worst. Some positives for the movie. I thought the music was good. It was a lot of music. It felt
like a love letter to the 50s. It felt like George Lucas being like probably like, what was he, late 20s when he made this or something? Had a huge affinity to that time frame. Yeah. This movie was awful to me, people. I hated it. You can't
hate it. But
tell me what it's about.
Four sets of kids, four guys hanging out in 1950.
Just driving around. People just mixing cars.
Yeah.
Was that a thing in the 50s?
I don't know, around it. And Wolfman Jack apparently.
Oh, and he just walks. That's Randy texting you right
now. He's yelling at us.
But like, he just walks into the radio station and tells him to like, hey, find Wolfman, because again, Ferris Bueller. I mean, Richard Dreyfuss was all over the place in this movie. It was so weird. Young. I did not like this. It was a grueling. It was Casablanca.
Really, I didn't mind it as bad as the other three.
I would watch Gone with the Wind and Purple Rain over all the. Other
I didn't watch Purple Rain, but out of the four I've watched, I'd probably watch this again.
And I also put in the notes, Golden Globe Best Picture Musical or Comedy that year.
Yeah, I don't know about Best Picture. It's barely a movie. It was almost like a home video.
Oh my God!
The little toad guy trying to get laid all night.
And that chick, the blonde, was the worst actress ever that he was with the whole time.
Yeah.
And then he's trying to score booze, which I kind of got like modern movies kind of stole that on something.
Yeah.
It just, oh my God, Steve, you were a little more positive on it than I was sitting here just watching the clicker going, well, how much longer on this thing? It is
I was just waiting for a movie to develop, you know? And so Harrison Ford.
Were they trying to get laid? I couldn't tell.
One out of the 4
Yeah.
was trying, and then Richard Dreyfuss was kind of trying.
And then like they were out of school, but then like school was in because the hop thing, and I don't understand.
Yeah, I think it was like the last school dance that Cindy Williams brought Ron Howard to. I think is the deal was. It was funny.
And what was the funny part too? All the chicks in the movie love them some Ron Howard. Like he was the hottest dude in the movie.
He Justin to me throughout
he
that
was
movie.
Scrawny.
Yeah, he reminded me of a chronic.
Oh my God! Yeah,
it was a unique movie. Would I watch it again? Probably not. But I don't. I like the music.
So what are you giving this out of 10?
What did I give Gone with the Wind? A 2? I give this one a 4.
I give it a 3. I was
4?
struggling to get through this movie.
I really enjoyed the music, and I really enjoyed the cars. I thought the cars looked nice.
It was like I said, like a love letter for George Lucas to the film. He forgot to put it in a movie, though.
Yeah. Toad was nice. I thought he was kind of funny, trying to get laid and trying to buy liquor.
Yeah, he was more like a trapping of like, okay, I can see a movie developing here, and then they would do something with him, and then just cut.
Yeah,
and
the whole Ron Howard story didn't even need to be in it. It made no sense. He's bitching at Richard Dreyfuss that they need to leave for college, and then he stays at Richard Dreyfuss
to be with Shirley.
Yeah, to be with Shirley from the Murder
God, man.
So American Graffiti, 4 out of 10 for me. Charles, 3 out of 10.
A solid 3.
If you like 50s music and 50s lifestyle, this is a day in the life there, pretty much. And one of them dies getting hit by a drunk driver.
Yeah, at the vignette end.
Yeah, that was weird.
And I don't know about you. I can't listen to Richard Dreyfuss without thinking of Stand By Me as the narrator.
Which is a 10-time better movie.
Oh, my God. Stand By Me
was that 50s?
I think it was set up in the same time.
Yeah, so that was supposed to take place in the 50s, right? Or 60s?
He was in the 80s typing the manuscript and then flashing back to the body. Yeah.
So the flashbacks were 50s, right?
I would assume, yeah.
Yeah, that was way better in the 50s than this.
Oh, my God. That movie, Stand By Me, is a gem compared to this.
Yeah.
I would watch Stand By Me 6,000 times before this one.
I totally agree with that.
So now what do you want to do for next week? What other retro review are we talking about? So that's the 70s we're picking on here.
So what haven't you seen? I threw out a couple, but you've already seen
got?
I told you Urban Cowboy. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen Deer Hunter, but you've seen Deer Hunter.
Yeah. Do you want to do Fear and Loathing, that one Johnny Depp movie or whatever?
Yeah, we could do Fear and Loathing.
Okay, I've never seen that.
Is that 90s?
I think that's 90s.
Yeah, so
that's like Hunter
that
S. Thompson or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Ironically, that was on cable. I caught about 5 minutes of it the other day on cable. Gary Busey plays some cop that pulls him over.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know what was happening at that point, but
right,
I will watch them.
Fear
and Loathing in Las Vegas coming next week.
It's fun to go back and fill in the blanks on this, but man, that American Graffiti, son, I was struggling, dude.
Man.
That was worse than Casablanca.
It's amazing he made Star Wars have to do with that. It's like,
dude, I couldn't. But not even that. Like Harrison Ford was such a terrible actor. I'm surprised he thought of him for Han. I mean, he was the worst one.
Yeah, maybe he was super cheap to get. Maybe, because it was a nobody at the time. So yeah, let's review American Graffiti. We're gonna try Fear and Loathing next week. Now, again, we're gonna go into wrestling, but wrestling ain't much to say this week because everything's on a lull because it's all gonna start.
It's got to be a huge lull right now.
Yeah.
Now, what are they? So. What are they doing? So they're talking already with the SmackDown thing. First of all, I went to record it. It starts at 7:30 with a blue carpet because it's SmackDown.
Oh, Jesus.
And they're saying Hogan's back, Austin's back, Lesnar, Roman Reigns. They're going to just throw talent galore.
This is the problem, though, what they're going to look at. Well, Hogan and Flair are both going to be on. They're going to do a segment with Miz where Miz has a talk show. So the two of them will come down and talk, and I'm going to guess some bad wrestler will come down, and Miz will beat him up, and then all three of them will pose in the ring. It's like that's Hogan's MO every time now
because he can't move.
Him and Flair physically can't do anything. So they usually put him with some young
in and out of the hospital.
Yeah, and trying to sue WWE. So
and work for him at the same time.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
Crazy.
So
you sue your current.
So that's what they're going to be doing. There's rumor that Goldberg's going to show up. Now Goldberg still does do one-off matches here and there, so he may do something. The problem with this, if they pile all these people in, and then you tune in the next week, then none of them are going to be there.
And then the issue's going to be is the viewership in the first month is going to drop off 80-90%.
Yeah, it's going to go just like this.
Woof.
And that's not going to look good for them. But they're going to pile it out. Lesnar's going to be in the title shot at the end of it.
Now, and again, you, BV, and Dave, and Tyler, all you guys are into wrestling, so you guys school me up now. So that talent normally isn't in SmackDown, right? Because they're kind of separate. you're a Raw fighter.
Yeah,
this
but
person's a SmackDown person.
Reigns
right?
has been SmackDown for a while. Kofi Kingston's been SmackDown for a while. Most of the ones you're going to see are SmackDown.
Is
Shane
Lesnar
McMahon,
a Raw person?
usually, but Lesnar only shows up once every 2-3 months. So they put him.
He's out on a farm in Minnesota.
Yeah, they put him where they need him. They're like,
Okay.
we need ratings. Get your ass in here and beat up
Bring
somebody.
it in here
SmackDown.
and job someone.
Yeah. So he's probably going to be on SmackDown for a while just to carry it.
Okay.
Would be my guess. They're going to have people tune in.
Do you think there's and again from a wrestling fan, do you think there's going to be a high impact reveal that happens?
Well,
are they going to set up a plot line that's going to be Steve Beebe and all these people that are going to come in next week are going to go, oh man, that was neat.
Yeah, well, the Lesnar Kofi's going to be the first. That's going to kick off a thing for.
And that's
a while.
the guy with the sunken in chest.
Yeah,
I'm supposed to believe.
He's not.
I'm supposed to believe that those two are going to get into a feud. That dude is probably 205, 210 to be generous.
Yeah.
Lesnar's 280 when he's juicing. I mean, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
Like, this is unbelievable.
Yeah, he's a monster.
Lesnar would literally rip this guy's head off.
Well, it's wrestling.
I know. It's back to the Chucky thing.
The one that's going to show up is I don't know what is John Morrison is his name. He was in WWE 10 years ago, and then
as
Johnny Morrison, or Johnny Nitro, or something like that. He's pretty good. He's about 225 pounds. He can really.
So you think he's going to come in for a big reveal?
They've already signed him.
Okay, but you think that they're going to bring him out?
He's showing up somewhere in that show.
Okay, that's what I'm.
But he's not a main event guy. He's more like Intercontinental Championship.
Okay.
But he'll be there. He'll show up and do something.
At some point, they're going to spike him into there.
Fully believe Goldberg and
do you
Undertaker
think he's
are
good?
Do something.
Do you think that guy's good enough to really make people excited to watch this show and this product?
Not to watch the whole show, but he adds to it.
He does.
He's a good wrestler.
Okay. Now on the
people my age will remember. Now I don't know. People's Holly age probably won't. But
I don't know how I don't remember him. Then is this post Attitude Era, early John Cena?
This is right around John Cena's. Okay. He was.
And now to flip the coin to the AEW thing, their premiere's happening. Is there going to be an impact reveal there, or you think they're just going to want to show you the product?
I think there'll be one or two surprises. I don't know what they are. I think Awesome Kong. This is always up in the air about her. Is she going to be a full time? She's not going to be full time. So I think she's going to cement what she's going to do. I think she's going to end up being there permanently, especially with Glow Wrestling ending after this season. So she's. There's supposed to be some main event female thing she's going to be.
So you think that they're going to bring her in as that name on the female side?
That's one of them. Now the male side, I don't know. I know Johnny.
You got any
Dean Ambrose
/
Johnny Knoxville will probably show up. I imagine he's going to be pushed into.
But he was just on that commercial.
Yeah, they're going to push probably him against Jericho and get him up in the main event.
Is Jericho hitting the gym? Because he looked a lot doughy the last time I saw him.
I highly doubt it. Dude's 50.
Oh, my God.
I mean,
Jericho, man.
Maybe he's taking that testosterone stuff.
Get
Frank
on a
White's
cycle
taking,
and trim it down, buddy. That's all I'm saying. Like,
his
dude,
new main move is terrible. It's that back elbow.
Dude, all I'm saying is, like, I get it. You're MMA training. Juice the shit. Cut it down, buddy. Like, dude, I get you're old. But, Goldberg, I saw my own eyeballs in person. Still, I'm not talking any shit to Goldberg anytime soon.
He's so a big dude, huh?
Yes, and his neck, like his head and neck.
I don't know why he works his neck out. Like there's videos of him working. Why do you need a gigantic neck? I don't understand.
It is terrifying. I'm not gonna.
It's gotta make it hard to find T-shirts.
I don't know.
Why do you want a giant neck?
He's reinforcing the neckule area. I don't know, but all I'm saying is I'm definitely in because I want to be able to at least mix it up with you guys and interject my stuff. Right. Dave's all in. You're all in. BV's going to be all in. I think it's going to be fun to hear. I want to see what the AEW the weekly product looks like.
I think there's going to be a big focus on Jungle Boy.
Oh, God.
Because that's Luke Perry's son.
Oh,
and him
my
being
God.
Dead. I think you're going to see him. He might be in that tag team with that.
Do you think DDP's kid's going to be in there?
He's going to be in there. I don't know. The only thing I'm not sure about. Are they just going to have the Young Bucks wrestle that Mexican tag team again?
This the weird luchador demon
it'd be like the seventh time now. It's like
I got to tell you, like, and again, I'm not a wrestling guru like you guys, and I'll keep saying that quite a bit. those young Buck guys are not very good. I don't see what everyone sees in them.
I don't either.
You coined the term. They Dane Cook it a lot. They had this social media thing, and they love to do all this. But every time I've watched them, so who's the guy from the New Japan Wrestling that's in AEW?
That is Kenny Omega.
I can see the talent pool in that guy.
He is really him, and Xavier Woods from the New Day in WWE. Fantastic video game players. Well, he's really good. They had Up, Down, Down. I've said it before on YouTube. It's their channel. He had a tournament. It was the New Day versus Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. And everyone sucked at it besides Kenny Omega.
And so these were AEW, WWE guys?
Yeah.
That's really cool, man.
Yeah,
I like to see some.
Too. And Triple H knows about it. He lets him.
That's
but they
cool.
He's good. He's good at Street Fighter. Him and Xavier Wood. I'd get smoked by either one.
Wow,
of those guys.
You respect his Street Fighter game. Is what
I don't know about any other games, but those two in those games,
they're clacking some sticks all day.
I don't want to grab the sticks against them.
I tell you. But again, I see the talent in that. I just don't. The Young Bucks, man. Every time
I don't get it either.
I
don't see it in Cody Rhodes. I see it in Kenny Omega.
Yeah,
I see it in a lot of the guys. And
that Jungle Boy is in the same boat with the Young Bucks. Where I'm like,
Jungle Boy needs to start doing some push-ups or something.
He's another get on a cycle. The whole crew.
They need to bring that 500-pound dude back that had the little skinny, just like the boxer breeze.
I don't even remember.
He was in that that Rumble, and he just knocked that dude way up. Bring that guy in. I don't. Where the hell's he at? That dude was awesome. They got some stuff.
I got to be honest with you. I'm intrigued. I'll tell you.
I know they have a big contract with New Japan, and that's why that terrible chick thing, those Japanese female wrestlers.
Oh my God, that was hard to watch.
Oh, please don't put them on the first episode.
That was real hard to watch.
But I think they're going to because they got a big contract with them. So.
What I'm going to do when I watch it, I'm going to open up a notepad and just start cracking down my thoughts as I go through. Because what I want to do with all you guys, especially you big-time wrestling guys, I want you to go through it with me and just school me on what I'm missing currently because I just refuse to see it.
Some of us are not missing, but
yeah, I don't know. But I'm curious to see how good the product looks, too.
So next Sunday, big wrestling podcast.
Yeah,
Tune in if you like wrestling. If you don't, well, zone out, I guess.
Yeah, we're the least listened to version of the show.
So let's go into what Charles and mine's favorite sport, hands down, football.
Yeah. Charles, we just got done. It's pro wrestling.
Yeah, that's not really a sport.
It's sports entertainment.
We air every Sunday, so we don't get to recap the Thursday night game until today. So we'll start there. Eagles go into Lambeau Field and beat the Packers. Eagles look really good in this game.
I also think that the Packers have issues.
Yeah,
that's one of the things that you can't. Rodgers can't win every game for you. You got to give him a supporting.
You got to run the ball a little bit.
It's just that's one of the things that stuck out to me. Yeah. It was good to see life in Philadelphia, and then just like I said, Green Bay's got issues.
Yeah, so Eagles go in, upset the Packers. There was a 4th and 2 late in the game where the Packers threw it and incomplete or whatever. A lot of people are criticizing that call that maybe they should have ran it or done something. But it's easy to be second-hand quarterback. But
if it worked, we would have a conversation.
Yeah, so
Eagles, I don't know. That's short yardage stuff, but that's modern football. It's football in 2019 too.
And Eagles, they're sitting at 2-2. They've had a pretty tough schedule so far, and
they're dealing with a lot of injuries too.
A lot of injuries, tough schedule. So they may rebound late in the season. It'll be between them and the Cowboys. Redskins are a mess.
Redskins got blown out. They brought in Haskins. He got picked immediately. They made the G-men look good today.
And I'm not sold on the Giants rookie quarterback either. He's beat up on 2 crap teams. Yeah. Let's see him play the Cowboys. I don't think you're going to have the same results. So from Thursday night, we go right into Saturday/Friday, I guess, because there were some college games on Friday too.
Was there?
Yeah, nothing good. Penn State played against Maryland, 159-0.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
I hate the Big Ten.
So. Everyone here in Ann Arbor's happy again.
They beat up on the Rutgers.
Captain Khakis went out. What was the final score?
52-0. Yeah, something crazy.
Rutgers is a step above a high school. They they mollywopped
They righted
them.
the ship. Congratulations, Ann Arbor. Tear down the goalposts.
35,000, however many people were there.
Sitting on their hands.
Yeah, I got to watch Shane Patterson act like a real quarterback for a day because Rutgers apparently doesn't play defense whatsoever, and then it was over. Now this personally, I know Charles and I are both Notre Dame slappies. This was still the best game.
It was a good week. It was a good game. I thought, especially the first 3 quarters, Notre Dame kind of handed it by the 4th. But it was entertaining.
And for the record, back to wrestling though, the quarterback for Virginia looked like Kofi Kingston. I kept telling Bill, Kofi's
chest caved in.
Okay, yeah, the pads on.
Okay. The one thing that scared me though, I got to be honest with you. A lot of Virginia over the middle stuff, which I was a little shocked by as I was watching back. I'm like, okay, there's definitely some weakness in that middle area for Notre Dame.
Yeah, so Notre Dame, they rebound from their Georgia loss. They win 35-20 over Virginia. Virginia was very game. They were ranked 18th in the country. What's Notre Dame, 10 or 11?
10 going into that game, 9 now.
Yeah, so it was a good game, a good solid game. Notre Dame played 2 tough teams back-to-back.
Now they get Bowling Green.
Yeah, they basically get a bye week with some Bowling Green. The other decent game, USC on their 3rd quarterback put up a little bit of a fight where Washington pretty much rolled them 28-14. Didn't watch much of that.
Basically, Washington's the preeminent Pac-12 team at this point, aren't they?
It's pretty much them and maybe
Cal had a
Utah.
win too, didn't they? Cal lost Arizona. I don't know. Weird West Coast stuff.
UCLA, I know, lost. Chip Kelly's 1-4. K-State loses to Oklahoma State. K-State was ranked.
Yeah, I was going to say they were going into it. Yeah, and so this last one's pretty huge because it cost them a position.
Yeah, now Clemson got the scare. They seem to get one of these every year.
I was going to say, this
Clemson
is common.
Beats North Carolina 21-20, but it was close.
Clemson's going to beat the doors off whoever they play next. Oh, my God. When that orange team rolls into town, run for the hills next week.
So North Carolina went for 2 at the end of the game with a minute left.
Super scary.
If they would have got it, they might have won that game. But they didn't get it. Clemson squeaks out a victory. They do this every year. There's one tight one.
Yeah.
Now, I got one complaint from the college this past week. Why on earth was Ohio State Nebraska the 8 o'clock game? That was a turd sandwich of a game.
My general manager at the hotel is a huge Ohio State fan.
I thought you were going to say Nebraska.
No. And he's trying to sell me on this Nebraska. I go, why is game day there? Like, what am I missing? I turned it on like in the first. So I was late to the Notre Dame game. I watched it, I recorded it, and then I came. It was already 14-0, like 5 minutes into the first quarter or whatever it was. And I'm like, what is the point of this? Like, really? And everyone's sitting there saying, Ohio State's the best team in the country. Best team in the country. Who have they played?
Nobody.
Beating up on mediocre Big Ten opponents.
Cincinnati?
Yeah. I'm just.
That hasn't been good in 10 years.
Ohio State loves to bolster. My general manager had to come up to me and tell me how good Indiana was last year. I'm like, you're out of your mind. Like, what are you talking about? I go, I got news for you, Ohio State. October 26th, Wisconsin rolls into town. You blow the doors off Wisconsin, I will not say a word. You're the best team in the country. I don't think it's going to happen.
You know, they'll win, but maybe not blow out the door. And side note, Wisconsin had the ugliest pants on you. Did you see?
I didn't see Wisconsin.
They're red and white, but their pants were dark tan. Oh. They were throwbacks, I guess. They look like prison schools.
Can we just stop as I'm looking at these? The throwback uniforms, period, are just terrible.
No, they're awful.
It's just a reason to sell things to people.
Yeah. So that was a big one. And Ohio State, and it was 38-0 at half. I mean, and how long have I got to? I don't hear a lot about Nebraska, but every time I do, I hear about that Martinez quarterback. That guy is terrible. I've seen him play 3 times. We just had a power outage there.
Yeah. The big push is for Scott Frost at Nebraska.
I mean, maybe in a couple years they'll be okay, but that Martinez quarterback is terrible. So now we're going to the NFL. The 2...
Great game for Detroit today.
The Lions lose to Kansas City. What was the final? 30-27?
30-27, yeah.
It was
came down to the
last minute.
All hell,
Third quarter had about 82 fumbles from both teams.
Oh, my God, 5.
5 fumbles. It was crazy. Very entertaining game. The Lions put up a hell of a fight. They do this
Stafford
every once
won
in a
the
while.
stat game. They beat Mahomes in the stats and everything.
But they lose to Kansas City. Kansas City is very hot right now, 4-0. They win 30-27 over Detroit. Very good game, though.
I think it's like that Notre Dame loss in Athens is what I would equate it to.
Yeah,
it's a loss, but it's a loss you can go, okay, there's something here. You know what I mean? I don't want to say that to the Lions fans.
Well, the problem is as soon as you get behind the Lions, that's when they'll go out and lose Tampa Bay. This is peak Lions. That was pretty good loss. They play good against Tennessee. They're going to beat the Bears, and they'll lose 37-0 against the Bears.
They just forget to get out the bus.
You can't get on that Lion bandwagon just yet. You might have to wait a little bit.
It was a hell of a game, though.
But it was I do got to admit. And they've played tough all year. So
now you said lost to Tampa Bay. The LA Rams were struggling with Tampa Bay.
Yeah, they're currently losing 28-17 right now.
Wow.
So we'll see what happens. Now the Bills put up a little bit of fight against the Patriots. It was
16-10 or something when I tuned in. I was
16-13, I think is how it ended. So
okay.
Bills tried some special team shenanigans. It didn't work. And the Patriots pulled away.
Did you see that Kelsey when he flipped it over to? Yeah, that was nuts stuff, man. I was like, this is crazy.
And the one thing I want to have a funeral right now. This funeral is for the 2019 Atlanta Falcons.
Dude, what are you talking about? They're buried on top of my squad.
We have dual funerals of the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Atlanta Falcons.
My squad doesn't play till Monday night.
They lost to the Titans. It was bad. It was like 24-7 at one point.
Wow.
I don't know how it finished, but
I know they What's the excuse? Because I can at least hang my hat with Pittsburgh.
They're not hurt. They just suck. No idea.
They just suck. Julio Jones, they paid a mint.
I know they paid
suck.
this guy $1 billion. They can't score points.
24-10 is the score right now.
Yeah, it's like, oh, the Falcons, their season's done.
Oh man,
I don't know what they need to do. That's just.
I got no answer.
I'm in dismay right now. Yeah. So let's take a preview now. We got Cowboys at the Saints. Charles, do the Saints stand a chance?
Well, the problem is I just don't like. I don't like Dallas outside of Jerry's world. I just don't. But at the same time, the Saints know Drew Brees. I don't know who's in their right mind. Is going to be Teddy Bridgewater to the house? I don't know.
And the Saints last week benefited from a special teams touchdown and a defensive touchdown.
Some garbage time.
They're not going to get that this week.
Yeah.
I think they run the ball, control the clock. I think Cowboys win. It's going to be like 20-13.
It's not going to be something impressive.
No.
I'll tell you that.
The Cowboys will go by the numbers, and I think we'll win. Are you going to take the Saints or you take the Cowboys?
I'll take the Cowboys, but I tell you, if full strength, I'm taking the Saints all day.
Yeah, if Breeze was playing
all day,
Saints easily. Yeah. But without Breeze, I think Cowboys might whirl in there and do that. So there's your little football recap. Michigan's happy again. Notre Dame's back on track, and the Falcons season is pretty much done. And tomorrow night, the Steelers season will be done.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's a rough pro year for the Markey brothers.
Oh, it's a rough one. So there we go. So let's talk about Ethernet. Let's talk about internet.
Yeah.
What do you think?
So I brought back the hard-earned reviews because I wanted to talk about something. I found. So basically, I bought this off Amazon, and TP-Link makes it, and it's Powerline Ethernet. So what that means is, and here's where I was using it. I wanted to have internet in my garage. And the nice part about these little devices, you get two of them. They're about the size of a deck of cards. You plug them into an outlet, and then you feed in with a hard line off your router or something like that. And then on the receiving end, you come off with another Ethernet, and you can go into another access point or something to give you Wi-Fi. And I'm able to juice up my whole garage with internet with it. So these are really handy. They're super dummy-proof. The only thing I'd say that the issue is with them, here in America, you have two phases of power that come into your house. Everyone knows you have 240 volts that come in. That's two 110-volt lines. In order for these to work, they have to be on that same side of the breaker panel. So what I'm saying to this is, when I had an issue setting it up, in my office, I plugged one in, and then I plugged it into the outlet I wanted to use in the garage. They were both on two different sides of the phase. As soon as I moved it to the other side, it worked no problem. So it's a little bit tricky. These will work to add Ethernet where you don't have Ethernet in your house, but you got to make sure you're on the same side. That's one of the things they don't do a good job. I'm lucky enough to have a little knowledge into how like houses are wired.
I got questions.
Yeah.
Where is your router for your internet?
So my house is crazy. I've got multiple switches in this house. I've got my main router sitting on this desk behind me.
So you're running a line from that router to your garage?
No, I'm not. That's where this power adapter comes in. Right. So basically, you take a cable out of there, plug it into this, and plug it into the wall. Then in the garage, you plug another unit, because you get two in this box for $40 through Amazon, into the same side of that phase, or the two phases that come in the garage. And then from there, so basically it uses another frequency on that phase of your electricity to basically communicate these two devices.
Okay, now my second question.
Sure.
Why do you need internet in your garage?
I can explain that as well. My whole house is run by smart things and all that. I've had the worst time getting a garage door opener to work. So coming in the future, I have a Wi-Fi garage door opener that will work, that will talk to that access point that I installed in the garage over the power line adapter. But where these are really cool is like, let's say your router's in your office in your room and you just put a smart TV in your kid's room. So as long as that outlet that's underneath your kid's smart TV is on the same phase as in your office, you just plug it in, plugged from the router to there, and then plug the other box in and go right to the TV. And the nice part is super reliable connection. I'm able to get my full bandwidth all the way out there in the garage now. No rewiring, no nothing. And I hid the little box. I have another switch because, again, I'm a crazy person. But I have a switch behind my living room television that feeds the little box in the house. And then that was on the same phase as the outlet in my garage. So then I took an old wireless router and hooked it to it. And now I have a wireless network in my garage. It's pretty cool stuff. And for $40, it solves a major issue. Like you had said, how do you get... I'm not running a hole. Like, here's my big Ethernet cable and run out to the garage.
I thought you fucking dug a hole.
No, the wire not at all. It uses the existing power lines in your house to transmit and communicate between the two devices. It's a fantastic little piece of kit. And this power line Ethernet stuff is not new, but I think they've really worked the bugs out that it's super reliable, and it's a great fix for when you need that hardline connection in those areas. So I just thought I'd bring it up today. And like I said, the biggest thing is you got to make sure you're on the same side of that 240 volts. So the way that your breaker panel is wired, it goes 1 to 2, 1 to 4. You know what I mean? Like the breakers go like this. They kind of crisscross across each other. So if you're on this side, you can't have one adapter on that side. They got to both be on the same side of the phase. So it's a little advanced electrical work, and I'm sure a lot of people are glazing over as I speak. But my point is, this is a fantastic device to fix a pretty common problem, I'd say, in a lot of houses.
A Wi-Fi extender wouldn't have worked?
A Wi-Fi extender would have worked, but it's still across the yard. So, like, my router's right here. So I'd have to put something on my back porch to shoot it across my yard. So the nice part is, with that guy, I can create another network in my garage.
So there you go. Couldn't you just use a traditional garage door opener? Everyone else had a little button.
I love smart home stuff, Steve. You know me, man. I just got to.
50 years, people just press a little button.
No, I'm going to have a Wi-Fi. I'll be able to, you can call me from the house. I'll be able to open the garage door for you, do everything. And it's going to go into my home.
Then you get a Chucky doll to control your whole house.
Well, yeah, and he'll stab me and run me over with a rototiller. But and that will integrate into my smart things and all that kind of stuff. So when my car, here's the Charles goal. Can I just tell you? I want the system to know that the bolt pulls up in the driveway and immediately open my garage like the future. Then I want to have it where the doors know that I'm home and just automatically unlock, so I can just walk right into the house without anything. That's the future, Steven. Let me tell you.
Too hard to press buttons,
dude. I'm a rich white guy. I get to have hobbies.
All right.
Just talking shit.
There you go.
Yeah, it's fantastic. But
Chubby
again,
George Jetson over here.
Yeah.
Well, let me know when you get your flying car.
Yeah, if my house gets hacked, you could just steal everything in my house.
Oh, man. So there you go. A little look at the TP link if you want to extend and make multiple Wi-Fi connections.
Yeah, power line adapters. Fantastic.
So now we got some rapid fire. Not a lot at the theaters. Gemini Man. Oh, first we're going to start with movies.
I was going to say Steve's going to go through the whole list.
Gemini Man comes out, but I don't believe it comes out until the 10th. So I might be a little early on this, but everyone's seen the trailers. It's Will Smith. Gemini Man.
Directed by Ang Lee of
Hulk.
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Also the Hulk. That was a piece of shit. Because of Ang Lee, I will wait for DVD. I'm a no on Gemini Man.
Okay, here's what I don't get about, and I just have questions. I'm going to derail rapid fire really quickly. If I'm fighting myself, I know my own fears. Are they going to address that at some point? So in other words, I don't like heights. So if I'm fighting myself, I just know I go up high. My clone self doesn't want to go up there.
Or a big aquarium.
Yeah, or aquariums. I don't like water over my head. I'm not doing it. Yeah. So I just have questions. Creepy, digitally aged Will Smith. Digitally aging people always kind of looks weird. I'm a no.
Yeah, wait for home. And there's another one. It's a small budget movie. It's about a cop that is a Marine reservesman on the
Who's
side.
in it?
Nobody. It's like nobody I've heard of. I guess he gets some kind of dilemma. It's called Semper Fi. I'm a no. It should have went probably right to DVD.
I'm a what? It sounds like it should start like UFC. Is Randy Couture in this
I
movie?
don't know.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much it. You pretty much got holdovers from last week with Rambo, Downton Abbey, and what was the other one?
Downton Abbey lost to the Abominable.
Oh,
the
kids
CG movie. Yeah.
That came out this week. We covered that before. No, coming on Blu-ray. Speaking of horror movies and another creepy killer doll, Annabelle Comes Home. Ironically released around the same time Chucky was. I sat through Chucky, so I'm not saying to this. I'm a no on Annabelle
This is
Comes Home.
a Conjuring movie, if I'm not mistaken.
It's a spin-off of it, but it's a killer doll movie.
I'm a no, because Conjuring was terrible. I love Ron Livingston, but no.
Midsummer. I think that's how you say it. Samar. This was that weird cult movie that came out in the middle of the summer. It's another horror movie type base. 4 teenagers go somewhere in, I think, the Netherlands and end up in this cult that's trying to kill them. I'm a no, too.
It's that time of year,
Yeah,
man. Nothing but horror, baby.
Yeah,
Nothing
it's
but horror.
terrible.
I'm a no. Bert, let me know if you think it's any good.
Yeah, I don't even think Bird would watch that one. Now, this is interesting because this is one of two. There was a documentary, and this is a regular movie. It's called Framing John DeLorean.
Is this the Jason Sudeikis movie?
It might be. It's coming out on Blu-ray. It's all about the creator of the DeLorean.
Yeah, I think it's the Jason Sudeikis.
Yeah, it's coming out. I'm kind of interested in this. I didn't know there was such a huge story because there's actually a documentary and this movie. So I'm a yes on this movie, Framing John DeLorean.
I like Jason Sudeikis a lot.
That doesn't look like Jason Sudeikis.
No, that doesn't. This looks like a documentary.
That's a documentary about the real guy. Yeah.
So he's making the movie, I think, on the other side.
Yeah,
so I'm with you. I'm interested. I'll be honest with you. I don't know what's about.
Really shocked that didn't come right to Netflix.
Yeah, it smells of a Netflix movie.
Yeah, but Framing John DeLorean, all about the DeLorean car that would have just disappeared in history if it wasn't for Back to the Future.
Find out Patrick Swayze had one of the first DeLoreans. I learned that from Patrick Swayze.
So on streaming this week on Amazon Prime is Goliath Season 3 with Billy Bob Thornton. I've watched the first 2 seasons. Michelle and I will probably watch the third. They're only 8 episodes.
They're very popular. I know that.
It's a straight attorney figuring something out against a big business kind of show. It's nothing too original, but I like Billy Bob Thornton. So I'm a yes on Goliath Season 3.
It's an Amazon show?
Yeah.
Charles ruled. That's a no.
Okay. Amazon's getting better, though. They're getting up there with some stuff, even though nothing's blown me away. But Carmen Sandiego, Season 2 on Netflix. I didn't even know they made a Season 2. So I'm a no on Carmen Sandiego.
I'm a no. If I were younger, probably. But I'm not into geography quite like I was.
The Nikki Glaser, which was on Howard Stern this week, promoting her Netflix special.
You got serious still?
Yeah,
okay.
6 months. So I got it in.
You're getting close, yeah.
June, July, August, September, October, November. Next month I'll be done with it. So yeah, Nikki Glaser. I'm all about stand up. I've only seen her in a handful of roasts, so I'll watch her stand up. I'm a yes on Nikki Glaser.
We've chronicled on the show. I struggle with female comedy. I don't know what it is. Steve
Eventually
doesn't
we
like
gotta see a
female
good one.
fighting. I don't like female comedy. I don't know how to explain it. I'm sure I'm a dick because I'm a man and all this kind of stuff. It just gets boring to me. I don't think every dude makes jokes about just like being a dude. It's just annoying.
Yeah.
I'm not into it. No.
So we'll see. And I am still waiting for that great female comic. I just haven't. Amy Schumer had a moment.
Because you have a penis. That's why. That's your problem.
I have to remedy that issue. No,
Yeah. Cut your dick off, then you'd find it hilarious. If you had a vagina, you'd know how funny the world is. I don't know. I just don't dig female comedy.
Now, this next one should be up my alley. It's animated. It's that Nick Kroll
You
show.
suffer from the same thing I do.
Big Mouth. It's on Netflix. I watched a couple episodes of the first season. It was terrible.
It tries way too hard.
It's just not that fun. It's
Yeah.
a lot like Sausage Party, where it's trying too hard to be extreme. So I'm a no on Big Mouth on Netflix Season 3.
Just like every female comedy or comedian rips on dudes, this is like the growing. Every dude likes to jack off all the time.
Yeah,
It's just
especially
like,
when they were 13.
Oh my God, I was just jacking on everything. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, calm down. I'm like, yeah, I'm with you. It misses me. I like Nick Kroll, but this show is, and people at work, I got a handful of friends at work that are like, yeah, it's funny. I'm like, dude, I guess, no.
I tried. It just wasn't funny.
Yep.
To me. And then the last one I put on here because I don't have NFL Network. And Thursday Night Football now, as of week 4, will now be also broadcast on Amazon Prime. So if you don't have NFL
for
Network,
free with Amazon Prime,
yeah,
that's cool.
But I think it's also coming back to CBS too, or Fox, whichever one's getting.
Was it this past week on Fox?
I don't know.
I think it was.
I don't know. I haven't been able to watch much of it. So the Thursday Night Football, of course, I'm a yes is football, Charles.
Yeah, I mean, of course. I just didn't know they had a Prime partnership. I thought it was Yahoo for a while there. I don't know. I can't keep up with the streaming rights.
Yeah, they're moving stuff all around. Now in games, not a lot too big. Trine 4. I played the first Trine. Did you ever play it? It's like a side-scrolling
side-scrolling, yep.
I didn't mind them. I got the game free. I wouldn't buy it, but I mean, if it was a free download, sure. Trine 4 is a yes.
That's a cheap Steam game around Christmas time, I'd say. Wait till it's $10 at Christmas time. I'm a no.
Yes. And now, Tropico 6. I've always seen the previews of this. It's got the guy with the big beard on. I've never played
What's
a Tropico.
The premise? Is it a
I think
sim?
it's like a Civ building, but this is coming on all the consoles.
You build like a dictator thing, like a Cuba or something?
Yeah, I'm not sure. So I'm a no. I've never played one, Charles.
I know of them, just like you said, but I never played them, so I'm a no.
Next one is Ukulele and the Impossible Liar. Lair. Is it Lair or Liar? Liar. I don't know.
You have Liar here.
Yeah, Impossible Liar. This is kind of like Banjo-Kazooie. It's kind of like
ukulele.
This
isn't a first ukulele game.
No, this is coming out for all the systems. It's not exclusive to anyone. It's a platformer.
It's a poor man's Mario.
Yeah, Holly's 15. We're not going to play it, so I'm a no on this game.
And again, it's like I said, poor man's Mario. Nope.
Now, the Switch has a party version of Burger Time coming out where like 4 people can play.
Old school Burger Time?
Yeah, but they've done it up with better graphics, and you each one of you are racing to make your burger fast. And it looks kind of fun, but I wouldn't buy it and probably not even rent it. So I'm a no on Burger Time Party for Switch.
It sounds like it'd be the best half hour of fun in your life, and then you would just be like, why did I buy this?
Yeah, that's $12 I'm going to give back.
I'm a no.
And this is also going to be in the news a little later, but Mario Kart World Tour for Android and iOS came out. I'm a no.
Crazy amount of downloads for this.
Yes.
Something like it already broke like store records and all this kind of stuff. I think it's best that Nintendo gets with cell phone technology because at this point your games are so lacking in tech. Just throw them on as many things and get them in front of as many people as you can. I got to check it out eventually. I mean, I'm definitely down with all the Mario games, so I would say yes.
Yeah, we'll cover it a little bit more in the news here coming up, but yeah, so there's your rapid fire.
Real quick, one of the things you didn't put it in the news, and I should have added it. DirecTV is talking about bailing on the rights for the NFL the Sunday Ticket because it's not lucrative anymore. Apparently,
they ridiculous amounts of money for it.
That's what everyone's saying, but apparently they spend like $500 million for that rights or something crazy. And they're only seeing back like a third of it or something like that. Yeah, so they're actually talking about it. And you know, me and Steve were both like, yeah, bail, so it can finally be more reasonable at other places.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's always been overpriced. So what's happening in MMA? I heard about the one, so go ahead.
What's
the Denmark one? They've been
so it was this UFC fight. I didn't have a chance to watch it. We were a little busy at work the past weekend. So the Jared Kennedy, I don't even know who these people are. They're not on my radar. KO Jack Hermanson. I don't know. Whatever. But I think the biggest thing that was on here, and I finally got the backstory as to why this took place in Denmark and all this kind of stuff. So Mark Madsen, who the UFC signed, is a 2-time Olympic silver medalist to only Russia. And they signed him. He went MMA because he couldn't beat the Russian guy. So this guy finally, he was 8-0 coming into the UFC. He's a Denmark Olympic athlete. So they basically gave him this event to basically showcase him. And he KO'd a guy in like 30 seconds or something crazy.
Give him a soup can?
Yeah, it sounds like it because they want him to be huge. So in his debut, he beat Danilo Bolidaro or something. This was some of these foreign fight cards are hard to fill. I don't know where they're getting some of these fighters.
Yeah,
UFC's really trying hard to make this
bar.
Yeah, trying to make it an international product, but at the same time, and from the U.S., I'm like, if they're not on my radar, they're definitely not on Steve's.
No.
And like I said, I kind of dug deeper because I didn't understand what the reality of this fight card was. And then once I saw, like you said, they kind of gave him a soup can to kind of get him out there. He's 9-0, former Olympic wrestler. They're going to push him hard. And then there's a decent fight card coming up. I thought this was funny, too. It's in Marvel Stadium.
Is this sponsored by Marvel?
Marvel, like the logo on your body.
Wow.
Yeah. In Melbourne, Australia. You got Robert Whittaker. This is UFC 243. Robert Whittaker. This is a full-fledged pay-per-view. You're going to get some prelims on ESPN+. But Robert Whittaker versus Israel Adesanya. Israel Adesanya is one of the most entertaining dudes to watch. He's throwing the Jean-Claude Van Damme kicks. You know what I mean? Like, he's a little all over the place. Very entertaining. And then there's also Ali Aquinta fights Dan Hooker, which is a decent fight as well. Not worthy of a $60 buy for me, but definitely a decent one. And I'll find out who some results are and pass it along to you folks because it's a pretty intriguing fight card. And then the other one, too, bare-knuckle fighting. I'm still going to keep beating this up. I don't care. Steve can say whatever. But the big signing was they had Vanderlei Silva. He signed, and Steve even recognizes that name. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was 0-2 in Bellator. He hasn't fought since September 2018. And I put on here as a joke, I was like, BKFC's new slogan should be, "You're home of fighters where they can't walk away." Because they just
want brain damage.
Yeah, they just take on anyone. He's way past his prime. He's Steve's age. He's like 44, 43, somewhere in that area. You want to go fight bare knuckle, Steve?
No.
Yeah, it's just it's pretty entertaining. But yeah, so there's going to be a big announcement at BKFC 8, which we will definitely be ordering and checking out. That they're going to talk about having Vanderlei Silva on their roster of fighters.
Oh man, still beating that drum.
I'm not going to let it go.
Fighting. So that's going to cover that. Now we're going to go into the news, wrap up a little bit here, little things coming out, nerd news for you, nothing important like Governor Whitmer or anything like that.
Okay, well.
But first, as we covered in the coming soon, or the rapid review, Mario Kart Tour. Now, you realize that game has a $5 monthly fee if you want to do other stages.
What?
Mario Kart Tour, the mobile game.
Yeah, I heard what you just said, but I didn't process. So it's not
you get like 2 basic stages when you sign up for free. Kind of like how Mario Run was, where you got some stuff.
But you earned it over time.
No, not this one. They got levels, like the higher CC levels and stuff like that, and characters.
They're completely locking behind a paywall.
If you don't pay $5 a month, you don't get them.
Oh, man, that's kind of lame.
Yeah.
Wow, makes sense for them business-wise, but sucks for us. Wow.
Yeah, so also, I downloaded it on my phone, but I haven't played it yet. You need a Nintendo account. Now, the account's free. Yeah. You can go with it, but I thought that was a little annoying.
One more account.
I mean, I already got a Google account. Why do I need to do it? You know, so you need a Nintendo account, and if you want all the content, it's $5 a month.
Jeez.
For a mobile game. Just that game. That's not like all the Nintendo. Yeah. So don't tell me how great that game is just yet. Now, Holly's played it. She's played the free stages. She really enjoyed it.
She loves Mario Kart. Yeah.
Everyone at school is playing it, so it's big with the teenagers right now. But
he's not so old. Just that it's big with the teenagers.
It's big with the young
folk. The kids are playing it.
Those young whippersnappers. So there you go, Mario Kart. If you want to play it full,
that's
$5 a month.
That's a little shitty.
Yeah, it is kind of shitty. Now, this next one I thought was kind of funny because this is another thing that kind of relates directly with my daughter. She doesn't vape, but she has friends that vape, and it's a huge in the high school.
Yeah.
A couple hundred people, I guess, have died or gotten sick from vaping.
CDC came out against like flavors and different things like that.
Let's look at the stats of about the 100,000 people that die a year from smoking, but we're going to worry about the 100 people that die from vaping. Not that I care. Let them all die. You know. So states now, and I thought that was funny, Massachusetts and Michigan are leading the charge, have banned vaping.
Vaping period or just the flavored vaping?
No, this is the whole deal, the shebang. And what Holly is saying is happening in her school, it takes effect at a certain date. Everyone's rushing to these smoke shops
just
and trying to buy them.
Wow,
yeah. So vapes, I guess, are really, vaping Juuls and all that is really hard to find
when
right
it
now.
First came out, right, I had plenty of smokers in my life try to like switch over to this, and they're like, it's just water vapor. I'm like, okay, first of all, that's an electronic device that's shoving something into your lungs. That cannot be good. I don't give a shit who you're listening to, how you're trying to, because smokers, I've rallied against them on this podcast, and I stand by every word I said. You're some of the filthiest people. You're some of the biggest assholes on the planet. I don't care. You can not like me. I don't care by it. But my point is, they justify their stupidity worse than any other group on the planet. They just sit here and like, oh, what's the problem? Oh, nothing. Other than now the CDC comes out and tells you basically how many people died from it and all this kind of stuff. I think it's ironic. I love it. Ban it all. I don't give a shit. I'm with Steve.
Yeah, or keep it and tax the shit out of it. But then again, we don't know where the tax money, it doesn't go to our roads. So who the fuck knows where that money goes? Who knows where that money goes? But a lot of people are claiming Whitmer. See, now this I didn't know. The vaping companies are not owned by Big Tobacco. They're like independent companies.
I guarantee you that Big Tobacco has their own vape products out there. There's no way they do,
but the ones that are popular aren't owned by the. So that's why they feel like a lot of the governors in states that are banning it are in the pockets of Big Tobacco, and they want the vape gone. Does that make sense?
I get you.
That's why
killing off the competitor.
That's why all these reports keep coming out because they, hey, look at this, vape is killing people. Hey.
That's not a bad conspiracy theory.
Yeah, so
I'll be honest with you.
That's a little bit of the conspiracy theory behind it.
That's not a bad one. Legit stuff.
Makes kind of sense, but who knows?
I'd say we'll just ban it all. I don't give a shit.
I'm getting to the point where just let people. You know what? You want to do heroin, jump off a cliff? Go ahead. I don't. At this point,
I'm not defending
you from
yourself.
If you are dumb enough to do whatever you, just do it. Leave me alone.
It's your journey.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? You want to vape? Whatever. I don't care. It's up to you. So there you go. A little more mainstream news than we're used to here, but I just thought it was kind of funny that vaping's getting banned and no one gives a shit about it. So now the next one, we've talked about Stadia. This is Microsoft's xCloud. Now they're opening public trials for Android users, and
so wait, you've reported on in previous podcasts this was only in Korea.
Yes.
Now we're coming
stateside.
Okay.
Yep. And now, just starting with Android, not iOS yet. So if you have, there's some requirements. You have a certain strength of Wi-Fi. You have a certain Android operating system. I don't know what it is. Whatever the new
Jellyfish. I was going to say.
They always name them something stupid.
So stupid.
It can't just be like Windows 10.6 or something.
It's Marshmallow Squishy 5.6. Like, whatever the hell, dude.
Yeah, you got that. And then you have a Microsoft account. Well, I had all three, so I registered.
Okay.
So in October.
So you're going to use the Stylo 4 to do this?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to try. I'm going to try connected Xbox controller.
I know that. Have you connected an Xbox controller?
You can. I know you can because there's Bluetooth in the new Xbox One controllers.
Okay. So then my question to you is, so like the Stadia stuff that came out will only let you do it on a Google Pixel 3. You're telling me as long as you've got Marshmallow Squishy 8.6 or whatever it is, and enough, I'll be curious, man. I'm super curious.
And in the article, they labeled the 5 games. It's like Forza 4, Halo 5. It's Gears.
You still got to do it. Yeah, I need to know. I
gotta try. I gotta try it. Let's see what's happening. Now this is streaming from their servers. Now don't get it wrong. There's another service they're gonna have too, where it's gonna turn
right. It's gonna in your local Wi-Fi network,
local Wi-Fi from your own Xbox. So if you want to go sit in the living room and play your Xbox,
sit in my garage
with your new system, you can pull out an Android tablet and play Gears of War 5 right on it. So that's a legend. So there's 2 versions of this xCloud.
Super intrigued.
So I want to test it. I want to see what's going to happen.
So your home Xbox is going to serve it up over your local LAN to your device?
Now, outside of this, technically right now, there is a beta app for Windows 10.
Okay.
Michelle has a Windows Surface 10. I haven't tested this. I should have tried this for the podcast, but I will eventually. You can download the app. It's in beta. And then what you can do on the Windows 10, and then you turn on your Xbox One X, and you connect a Xbox One controller. Yeah. I will be able to stream from my Xbox onto her Surface.
Jeez.
And then use a controller, Bluetooth.
Do that because I need to know, because you're using an AT&T router Wi-Fi, right? You're not even using like I've got TP-Link stuff. Yours is whatever you'd get by default from AT&T. I'd be curious to see what the performance looks like.
Yeah, so I haven't tried that yet, but that's already available. You can do that right now. I saw an article the other day on it.
How does your again? I like to keep hard lines here. That's why I was telling you before. Anything I like to have streaming pipes, all that kind of stuff. I rarely do it over Wi-Fi because I just don't like the reliability in it. How do you connect your game consoles?
Right now, their Wi-Fi, because my room was just packed with wires.
Yeah,
and I was like, I got to get rid of some of these wires. It's driving me mental.
Just got to clean it up.
I had like a long ass, it was like a 30-foot wire going around. I was like, it was all balled up at the end. I was like, get rid of this wire. Because I don't play online all that much. I used to play a little more online, but I found myself not like Madden. I just play the franchise. I really don't want to play. So it's like,
just
why
changing
do I have
the way you play? Yeah.
Why are all these wires just
so what you're telling me is you've got a Wi-Fi console hitting an AT&T given to you Wi-Fi router that you're gonna. I need to know. You got to do this. I'm super curious.
Yeah, we'll see.
Because it could be either not ready for prime time, or it could be like, holy shit, this is the future or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm super cute. You got to do that.
I could test the Microsoft Surface one this week, so
that's the mirroring that we were talking about.
I can't do the Android one until they send me the email and say they're ready.
Nonetheless, do it. Give a full report for next week. I'm sure.
It's kind of a look into what Stadia might be,
Because then, in theory, you could stash your Xbox in a corner of, you know what I mean? Like, you don't even need it hooked to a TV or whatever.
Well, I think you still have to launch the games from the Xbox and then
flip it
and connect to. I don't know.
Let us know.
Because I don't think it brings up the dashboard of your Xbox on the Surface.
It purely is like a Xbox button and then Mirror 2 or something like that. Yeah, but still.
So that's the big. We're getting more and more streaming. We're gonna see what's happening.
I tell you all the time. I think it's the future. I tell you this all the time.
Future.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Now, this is some big news, and you could probably care less, but now
I
you
saw
remember
this, though.
You remember Spider-Man and
Sony beef, yeah.
Sony and Marvel were having some beef. Like Dave and Mark had beef.
Yeah.
They had some beef, and Spider-Man got kicked out of the MCU for about 25 days, right?
I hate the MCU. What is the Marvel Comics
Marvel
universe?
Cinematic Universe.
Cinematic. Okay.
The Marvel Comics universe is the actual comic
universe.
Man. So let's get it right.
Okay.
Actually,
because they use that term all the time.
There's no universe it's just Marvel Comics and then the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Oh, okay.
So it's the MC and the MCU.
Gotcha.
And actually, you really want
I know a couple of people that graduated from MCU. They were like 2002 thereabouts. They got a bachelor in douchebaggery because I hate.
Now, if you really want to get technical with Marvel Comics, there's also the 616. They call that.
I think that's the Diaz brothers, isn't it?
I don't know what it is.
It's
the area code for New York because the original universe for Marvel was in the original New York.
Kicking at 616, huh?
So they call that the 616 Marvel. Is what they call that.
I just don't give a shit.
It'll make your head melt.
Continue with your stupid comic.
Wrestling and comic stuff is just as annoying as each other. But so
look at Kirk Cousins just owning them.
Get destroyed. And why do the Bears kind of look like Michigan helmets?
Yeah, they do.
It's kind of annoying.
It's because the throwbacks.
I guarantee the Bears uniform never looked like that. But anyway,
nothing's worse than those Packers throwbacks. Oh my god.
So now you can see Tony Stark, even though he's dead. You can see spoilers. Sorry.
What was the compromise? Do you know what the compromise was?
I think it's 30% instead of 50%. Sony took the 30%. Jesus. They told Darth Vader, "We'll take the 30."
Jesus Christ!
So Sony is Lando Calrissian. Fucking.
I'll tell you what, man. 30% of how many bill is not that much, right?
Well,
not
also,
that bad.
But Kevin Feige, he's the hot name. Kevin Feige. There's another news I should tell you. I didn't put on there. Kevin Feige's the one that ran the MCU.
Oh, Jesus.
He's a hot commodity. Everyone wants him. He runs everything right. So he's going to help produce all the Spider-Man movies. Okay. Spider-Man can also show up in Avenger movies and any Marvel movie
so
they want
we're playing nice between these two producing companies, and then the Feige guy is a good Marvel Universe guy who's willing to lend his chops to the Sony side.
To help him. Now, Sony has their own universe, Spider-Man universe they're working on right now with the two guys that made the Lego movie, Christopher Lord and Miller, whatever their names are. So they made the Spider-Verse, they made the Lego movies. So Sony hired these two guys. They want to make a whole Spider-Man universe, like Venom.
Who would be in it, though?
You'd be surprised at the laundry
What
list.
names, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Is this something that is, to you, does this like... Are you like, oh, man, okay, cool.
No, it's Spider-Man.
Because, like, the Avengers you know of, I'm not even a big comic book guy. I know of the Avengers. You know what I mean?
Like,
I know of the X-Men.
But you know of Venom, right? You know of Carnage.
Yeah. So you've named 3 people.
then you know
this is not a very big universe.
You know of Kingpin. You know of Dr. Octopus. You know of the Sinister Six.
You've given me all of his villains and no universe.
But then there's a lot of Miles Morales, who is the new young Hispanic Spider-Man that they make now currently in the comic.
It sounds like a huge reach to me. I'll be honest with you.
It's a reach. But they'll make money with him because it's
but you gotta have. I think you have to have ties towards. People like the Avengers movies because it all felt like it all played in. You know what I mean? Like you're sitting here with your nerdy shirt on, but that's because all of it all played in together.
Spider-Verse, you didn't see it, did you? That had a lot of these new characters that I'm telling you about. Gwen Stacy, had Miles Morales, and all them. They got a huge following from that, so they're hoping to take those characters from that movie. And then they
spin them out to like a 6-film story arc. I don't understand.
Essentially, is what they're trying to do. They're trying to do what Marvel did, but just with Spider-Man characters.
I don't think there's enough.
I don't either, but
this is the world we live in. I don't know.
This is what we're getting. Everything gets watered down and fucking turned to vapors.
God, yeah.
So that's what. But the other news, and I didn't put it on here, is that Kevin Feige guy again. Disney has tapped him on the shoulder and said, "You're in charge of Star Wars."
Okay, this guy can't be in charge of every. This one guy's making all of their universes.
So it's all going to get watered down. But he'll be somewhat with Sony, but not that much. He'll be mostly Marvel, and then they want him. He's the one that they're putting their eggs in their basket to run the Star Wars universe.
What
from here on out? But then there was also the guys from Games of Thrones that's supposed to be making one. There's the guy who made the last Star Wars movie.
I gotta be honest, I'm scared for Star Wars.
Oh yeah,
it's just Disney's getting. George Lucas came out like kind of bashed him. Did you see those articles this past week? And
yeah, but some of that's butthurt though.
Yeah, George Lucas is kind of a character when it comes to some of this stuff.
He gave them an outline for the movies, and they kind of threw the outline in the trash and went their own way. After seeing the prequels. Kind of don't blame Disney.
And at the same time, too, you sold it. You can't tell someone how to drive the car. You just sold them. I mean,
Josh, you buy my own F-150, but I only want you to drive it out Telegraph.
Only can do 30.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like I'm gonna blast it, kiss my asshole, man.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, George Lucas theories notwithstanding, it's just I'm intrigued by the Ewan McGregor stuff on Disney Plus. I'm intrigued by the Mandalorian stuff, but
Mandalorian looks great. Everything I've seen looks fucking fantastic. I'm gonna be so let down if that's a turd sandwich.
Did you? You're just pissed.
I just have to grab everything Star Wars in my house and chuck it in the yard.
No, it might be worse on. Don't do that. But I don't know. I think that J.J. Abrams and the new trilogy was a smart idea. I think that he brought a certain fanboyness to it, but then also had you know what I mean? Like it just played so well.
Yeah.
How many times are we going to try to capture this? But I guess they got bills to pay. So
yeah. I'm fine. See, I'm in the minority, and I think you're with me on this. I loved Rogue One.
Oh, Jesus. Are we back to Steve's Rogue? We get it.
No,
Calm
but
down.
that did something different, but still stayed familiar, where Force Awakens was pretty much a recycle of the first Star Wars movie. So if they did,
I love you can't remember. Force Awakens is a great movie.
No, I'm not. But that's the criticism everyone gives it. It's a lot like the first movie.
Are you kidding me?
That's what everyone says.
When Rey is on the shit, come on, man, goose pimples.
It was a good movie to me, but a lot of people said it was too familiar with the 1977 version. Which, if you look at the beat for beats and another Death, all I'm saying in the new movies, please don't have another goddamn Death Star. That's all. One thing.
With Plan B,
but I'm fine with a story outside of the Skywalkers. A story like Solo was outside of the Skywalkers.
And to your point with the Rogue One, like it's neat to take a situation that applied to that, like wink, wink, nod, nod. But there's more to that story because the onion's deeper over here. I think that's neat.
You don't watch it, but I like when they take a universe. Like, you don't watch the MCU, but, like, I always said this, Captain America Civil War, or Captain America Winter Soldier, yeah, it's a superhero movie, but it felt more like a spy thriller movie. That movie, that particular one did.
So it has trappings of it and information.
Yeah,
that
and I like when you
forward.
could take, you could take a movie inside a universe, but it's different from the ones you've seen before. Like that's the downside of The Hangover, right? It was the same goddamn movie 3 times. Where like Rogue One it's a Star Wars movie in that universe, but here it's a little different. Solo was too, even though everyone shit on it.
I get your point.
So if they did that.
It doesn't have to be a young person with amazing ability somehow hidden away.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be fine if they did a whole.
Death Star.
That's why I'm hoping for the Mandalorian has not a goddamn Jedi in it anywhere to be found. Just covering the bounty.
But
hunters.
you got to admit though, like it is neat when like you have an episode that like has something to do with the Jedi Order or something. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, okay. Yeah. But to your point, it doesn't have to be beat for beat of like an apprentice and
Sometimes it's like. Yeah, here it feels like, oh my god, there's a checklist. We have to have fucking Jedis. We have to have only 2 Siths, not more than 1
droids.
Sith. Yeah, we have to have this. If you go a little off kilter and do something different, unlike the fucking Last Jedi, that was terrible. But I mean,
they did something different. You got that milk, got that teeth. I love those movies. I don't give a shit.
The second movie was so bad.
I don't give a shit. I'll watch it tomorrow. I don't care.
Well, that was the other thing I was going to bring up with you. Why I brought Rogue One up. I was surfing through. TNT has the TV rights to Rogue One. Did you know that?
You love that movie.
I know, but
you have such dude. You'll be 95 years old,
and I'll still defend it.
Wait, you'll be 65 years old because you ain't seeing 95.
It was essentially the Dirty Dozen,
dude. We get it.
Star Wars.
Bring it up.
My point is,
you can't have a Star Wars conversation at this point
without Rogue One.
You just have
But my point is, though, it's a new Star Wars movie, and the TV rights were still with TNT. I thought that would be with the Disney Plus.
I'm sure once that was my point. I'm sure that deal was brokered before. It's like with a lot of these Netflix deals, where even with the Marvel stuff, there was deals that took place years ago that they didn't know. They signed their rights away 3 years ago, and just didn't know. You know what I mean? So, are you still looking forward to the Disney Plus as much as I am? I definitely. I work with a guy who already pre-ordered his. You already pre-ordered. It sounds like it's going to be really popular.
I pre-ordered, but they didn't send me an email or anything. That's kind of weird, but.
Maybe until they bill or something.
Yeah,
like that,
it just had a big thing on the actual site. Thank you. Wait for November.
Did you try to like log in and see if it gave you like a time or anything like that?
There's nowhere to log in.
Oh, there's nothing.
So, but all right, we'll find out. I hope I have it. I have the credit card bill to show. So I paid for this.
Got this paperwork.
So there you go. A little Star Wars nerddom for you guys. Because that's the way we like to end our podcast. Next week, we're really going to nerd out again with some wrestling.
Oh, man. Deep dive.
Man, some deep
I'm going to have
wrestling.
notes.
You can catch us on Fat Guys on a Little Podcast, Google Play, Apple iTunes, and everywhere you can catch podcasts.
You're going to stay with those plugs, man.
I'm really terrible at those.
You cannot bookend this podcast to save your life.
So terrible. I think I would get it after about 63 tries. Who knows? So until next week, I'm Steve.
Charles.
And we'll catch you next time.